It wasn't pretty, it wasn't fluid, and it wasn't prime Arsenal, but they did deliver when it mattered most. After a tense Saturday evening on Merseyside, the Gunners have climbed back to the top of the Premier League table heading into Christmas. Now, with Man City cruising to a 3-0 win over West Ham earlier in the day, the pressure was firmly on Mikel Arteta's side to respond to the newly opened Hill Dickinson Stadium. It wasn't pretty, and it certainly wasn't vintage Arsenal, but it was a controlled, disciplined, and, albeit slightly too efficient, 1-0 victory. The decisive moment came midway through the first half. After a cautious opening, Victor Gyökeres, desperate to end a 5-match goal drought, went to ground under a challenge from Jake O'Brien. Now, initially this was waved away, and the real turning point followed seconds later. It was a Declan Rice corner, of course, and O'Brien inexplicably handled the ball with both hands inside the area. It might as well have been volleyball, the way he came up. I've never seen anything like it. VAR had little choice, and the penalty was given. Notably, both Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka stepped aside, allowing Gyökeres to take responsibility. The Swede responded in style, smashing a powerful penalty past Jordan Pickford to make it 1-0. And remarkably, it was the first Arsenal penalty in 2 years taken by someone other than Odegaard or Saka while both were on the pitch. I do need to add that. Arsenal's grip on the game before the break was absolute. It wasn't vintage Arsenal. It wasn't a fluid kind of passing exhibition between the lines, but Everton failed to muster a single shot in the first half. Just the second time that's happened since Opta records began. The second half, however, told a very different story, and it was riddled with controversy. Everton were furious with William Saliba after he appeared to clip the underside of Barry's leg inside the penalty area. After a prolonged VAR review, officials ruled the contact as insignificant and not worthy of a spot kick. I did hear that Jamie Redknapp later admitted that Arsenal were very fortunate to escape punishment, and I must say it was quite lucky. But as I mentioned earlier, the Gyökeres challenge where he's essentially pushed to the ground, I think that could have been given as well. There was one other penalty call, but that was from outside of the box. Arsenal had opportunities to kill the game off. Leandro Trossard and Zubimendi both struck the woodwork, while James Tarkowski produced a goal line clearance to deny Bukayo Saka and keep Everton alive. Now, if you watch this game, you probably saw the colour of David Moyes. And after the final whistle, the contrast in mood was clear. David Moyes cut a frustrated figure, praising his side's resilience, but pointing to O'Brien's costly error and a refereeing approach he felt didn't actually allow Everton to get their physical style to flourish. Mikel Arteta, meanwhile, spoke glowingly about the atmosphere, admitting he felt chills inside Everton's new stadium. Bearing in mind he was an Everton player, he conceded the match became chaotic after the break and applauded his players for managing the moment. I think this might be the first time that Everton have ever been known to have a tifo. I could be wrong, but of course it's against Arsenal. Now, the result means that Arsenal will sit top of the table at Christmas for the 5th time in the Premier League era. Unfortunately, history hasn't been kind to us on the previous occasions, but with testing fixtures against Brighton, Villa, and Liverpool ahead, this gritty, no-frills win could prove far more significant than it looks. I think if we go back and watch this game in hindsight, I think the stats will probably tell the truth about this game, and we'll kind of look at it and think, actually, we dominated. What's your verdict on the Saliba incident? Should Everton have had a penalty? Should Gyökeres have had another penalty for the push in the back? What was the problem with our final third entry, and what can we do before the Palace game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember, you guys know football. I just talk it. Order out.